on Earth. CHSJ's Variety, Monday night at 11:30.
CHSJ Night News.
A double manhunt continues in St. John. ACOA dollars flow into MONCTON, Dieppe. In sports, no food for the fridge. Heading into a good-looking weekend, sunshine in tomorrow's forecast. Good evening. The search is still on tonight for suspects in what St. John police are calling two unrelated armed robberies. CHSJ Stacey Savoll reports.
Inspector Gary Watson is heading up the investigation into an armed robbery that turned into a murder at the Greco Pizza outlet in the city's north end. He says the public is giving detectives a lot of leads.
The leads that we're receiving are all being checked out, and it may take considerable time to do each lead, but each one will be checked out until this particular robbery homicide is solved.
The suspect in that case wore a ski mask, dark clothing, and gloves. Watson describes him as 5 feet 2 inches tall. Police are saying little else about the case. The victim, 23-year-old David McHugh, was shot down after the robber walked in a back door and demanded money from the cash register. Police are also on the trail of an armed robber who held up the Montreal Trust branch in downtown St. John during Thursday's rush hour. He made off with about $10,000. Authorities released an artist's sketch of the suspect. He's described as heavy-set, about 5'9" and 200 pounds with dark hair. He was wearing jeans and a red and white striped polo-type shirt at the time of the robbery. Police say there is no connection between the two St. John robberies, but they are checking into the possibility the Montreal Trust robbery is linked to a similar one in Fredericton last week. Police say they appreciate all the help the public has given them. They are methodically checking out all leads, but are still hoping for some key information to break the cases. Stacey Savoll, CHSJ News.
A Truro, Nova Scotia man was killed in a single-car accident near that town yesterday. 22-year-old Frederick Mingo was a passenger in a car that left the road and overturned. Mingo was thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. The driver of the car was slightly injured. RCMP are still investigating the accident, which occurred around 6:45 yesterday evening. And the New Brunswick Highway Patrol has released the name of an Edmundston man killed in a motorcycle accident Wednesday. Police say Stephen Robert Young, 21, was riding his motorcycle westbound on the Trans-Canada Highway at about 6:50 p.m. It appears he lost control of the bike and went into the ditch. Police say road and weather conditions were good at the time of the mishap. A coroner's jury in St. John has made several recommendations concerning job site safety following an inquest into the death of a construction worker. 32-year-old Kirby Johnson fell from an overpass being built along the city's western thruway. The jury's recommendations included more regulations on the use of safety nets, requirements for safety committees on all construction sites, and a 24-hour rerouting of traffic on highway projects. Currently, the law requires safety committees only on construction sites with 20 or more workers. The Moncton-Dieppe area is getting another super mall. The Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency has provided almost $10 million in financing to Champlain Expositions, a Tri-Tour Developments company, to construct a $26 million family entertainment hotel complex. CHSJ's Jeff Britt has more.
The Moncton-Dieppe area is actively seeking tourists who like to shop. So much so, the area is becoming a superstore shopping mall complex. But this latest complex will have more than just shops and restaurants. The Crystal Palace will feature a covered and climate-controlled amusement area with rides, carousel, miniature golf, carnival games, and laser light shows. Moncton MP Dennis Cochrane says Moncton has come a long way in tourism since the Magnetic Hill. He says tourism is a clean, easy way to make money. But more importantly, he says the people of Moncton want jobs.
The people of Moncton want employment. The people of Moncton want to have a quality of life that they've grown to appreciate, but they need employment to keep that going. And this is an opportunity for people to work. We know that tourism is one of the largest industries in New Brunswick. We're just trying to get a bigger share. The federal government involvement in Magic Mountain is a good example of that, and it's been very successful.
Cochrane says the new mall will not compete with the Magic Mountain water slides or downtown business and revitalization. He says the new mall will complement business activity in the area by attracting more visitors.
I don't think it is. It's complementary to what's happening in downtown Moncton, and I think that it's beneficial to everyone.
Work will begin on this 8-acre site by October of this year. It's only a parking lot away from the Champlain Place Mall in Dieppe, although there are no plans to connect the two complexes. By the time the Crystal Palace is completed in the fall of 1989, 120 full-time and up to 300 part-time jobs will be created. In Dieppe, Jeff Britt, CHSJ News.
City workers in St. John almost walked off the job today. At issue, the hiring by the city of a Brunswick bottling replacement worker.
Many of the 400 union members were at the meeting. They left to go back to work. That almost didn't happen. They were set to start a wildcat walkout. Local 18 President David Gould says had the former strikebreaker from Coke not been dismissed, his men were walking out.
Our members were concerned that the city knowingly hired the scab. The investigation found that the city management was completely innocent and did not know they were hiring a scab.
Gould used a news conference after the meeting to deliver a message, apparently to City Hall and strikebreakers.
What we're saying is this local 18, the outside workers, will not tolerate any scabs working here.
They didn't identify the man in question, but say the man's name is on a list of 25 St. John Coke strikebreakers being distributed. The list is being passed around union shops throughout the area. Also at the news conference, the local spokesman for the striking Coke workers. He says when they talk with Coca-Cola officials next week, the matter of replacement workers hired during the strike will be an issue.
Our feeling is that even as going in negotiations with Coca-Cola is that we don't want them in our plant as well as in any other unionized job in this city.
Brown says the talks with Coke begin next Tuesday. Paul McLaughlin, CHSJ News.
Bar Harbor Airways is discontinuing its service to St. John and Halifax. About 100 employees will be laid off. A company spokesman in Bangor says the move is part of a reduction of service to several communities in 2 states and 2 provinces. At the same time, some new centers will be added. The official said this is part of a restructuring plan to make the airline more profitable. The Starkist tuna plant in Bayside, New Brunswick will begin processing tuna again August 8th. 2.5 years. The company says 1,500 tons of tuna will arrive Monday, and it will take 2 weeks to unload the fish before processing gets underway. The plant shut down in late 1986 during a scandal over tainted tuna. Canada's chief negotiator in a boundary dispute with France says future negotiations might be easier following the French election in May. Yves Fortier said today in Halifax that the French have been much more positive towards negotiations since the election. But he adds that no new bargaining talks have yet been scheduled. The dispute centers around the territorial boundaries of the French islands of Saint-Pierre-Miquelon off Newfoundland's south coast. A businessman who operated a department store in Bathurst for 20 years and then closed his operation at the beginning of this year is thinking of reopening his business. But Murray Dolphin, who has a total of 40 stores in rural Canada, has put some conditions on his return. CHSJ's Kevin Babin has more on the story.
The president of Dolphins Limited cites declining sales at his Bathurst store in recent years as the reason for his closure. Since then, Murray Dolphin has been unable to lease his building, so he has decided to address the problem of downtown shopping. He feels the key to a successful downtown is in its accessibility to its customers. Following this line of thinking, if the city of Bathurst makes 4 changes in the downtown, not only will he reopen his store, but he will renovate the building at a cost of $1.3 million. Dolphin wants to see angled parking on Main Street to increase the number of spaces, and the removal of parking meters, offering free parking to the customers. This walkway that links the federal building to the street should be eliminated, then 2 existing parking lots will be joined. The fourth and most challenging change is turning one of the main arteries in the downtown core into a 2-way street, making it easier for customers to reach the area. Dolphin says these 4 changes are not negotiable. All must be implemented together to make the plan work. He is hoping to travel to Bathurst in the 3rd week of August to meet with City Council, the Downtown Revitalization Corporation, and the Department of Municipal Affairs to discuss the possible changes. In Bathurst, Kevin Babin, CHSJ News.
Nova Scotia's Consumer Affairs Minister has resigned from Cabinet. Maxine Cochrane says she's leaving politics for personal reasons. It's the 3rd resignation from Premier John Buchanan's Cabinet in as many days. Housing Minister Mel Pickings and Advanced Education Minister Edmund Morris have also turned in their resignations and say they won't run in the next election. A government source says more Cabinet ministers may soon step down to make room for a pre-election Cabinet shuffle. 9-year-old Emma Holston hopes to continue her air odyssey tomorrow as she flies from Charlottetown to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Bad weather grounded Holston in Charlottetown today. The Medicine Hat schoolgirl is trying to become the youngest pilot ever to fly across Canada. Her father, Paul Holston, is acting as navigator. He says they hope to go on to Newfoundland on Monday. And a marathon bicycle ride across Canada stopped in St. John this evening. A couple of letter carriers are riding coast to coast to raise money for children's hospitals. Letter carriers from the port city played host to the pair before the next leg of their cross-country odyssey. That's news. I'll be back with a look at the weather, and Harvey will check sports right after this.
In 1983, the Canadian Automobile Association introduced an award based on owner satisfaction. A year later, the same car manufacturer won this prestigious award again, and won it again, and again in '87. This year makes it 5 out of 6 times a Toyota has won the CAA Award for Outstanding Performance, as voted by the toughest judges of all. You, the Canadian car drivers.
Come on everybody, I'll tell you a story about a nice place where we can have fun. Slipping and sliding, twisting and flying, we'll splash in the wave pool, play in the tub. We'll be floating on the river, playing, meeting new friends. We'll be laughing in the sunshine. Come on everybody, it's great summer fun. Magic Mountain Water Park, exit 488 up the Trans-Canada Highway in Moncton, New Brunswick.
Hi, this is Joan Kennedy, and you're invited to help us wrap up Loyalist Days.
CHSJ and Labatt's Blue Country present Joan Kennedy in concert at the Exhibition Building, Exhibition Park, Saturday, July 23rd for the Loyalist Days Wrap-Up Fun Garden. Advance tickets $5 at Sam the Record Man Brunswick Square and the Hideaway Club Rothesay Avenue. Those under 19 will not be admitted.
See you during Loyalist Days.
Now and then, when I can't sleep, overtired, maybe a bit worried, Nitol helps. Nitol's single trusted ingredient helps me drift off into restful sleep. It may work for you. Nitol.
Why just try to overpower odors with your perfumey air freshener? Lysol spray does more, because Lysol disinfectant spray cleans the air of odors, and it also kills household germs on surfaces that cause odors. Something your overpowering air freshener simply can't do. Lysol spray kills germs and cleans the air. So why just try to overpower odors? Lysol spray kills germs and actually cleans the air.
These clothes look bright, but they could be brighter. Only Javix Bleach for Unbleachables is charged up with Luminites. To really turn colors on. Javix Bleach for Unbleachables with Luminites. It turns on everything you wash.